Come see us on tour. We'll be in Tempe, Arizona with a special celebrity guest on that show. Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So just so you know, our show is very popular. This isn't about bragging about how popular my show is. This is about talking about how they want to shut down and limit the reach of shows like mine. So before this election season started, we were averaging way over 440,000 views per video. A lot of them over that. Since this election season started, they have ratcheted down, and we have lots of videos that well, this one didn't even break 25,000 views, and it's a pretty important topic. It's called Elon betrays for so Elon Musk caves to Brazilian censors. Did you know that happened? Well, only 23,000 people who watched the show know, and I guess whoever watched it on the live stream. So I got a text this morning. I dropped this yesterday. I got a text this morning from someone who does a show in this space. I won't say. And well, let me read it to you. He sends me this, and he says, "There's got to be major suppression of this story. I just found out that about this last night. Nowhere to be found on Twitter, and this video's only got 18,000 views. At that time this morning, it only had 18,000. Now it's 23,000. Now, before this election season, I could take a video of me watching paint dry, and I would get 30,000 views, at least. It was so rare that we ever had a video get less than 50,000. An important story like this, an 8-minute story, 23,000 views. So they're suppressing the story. And just as my friend said, I didn't see anything about it. There's nothing about it on Twitter. I saw Michael Tracy tweet about this, and his tweet got suppressed. You think something like this would have 50,000 likes? You think it would have this would have 500,000 views? Something like this. What? Elon Musk betrayed free speech? He caved to Brazilian censors? What? That's news. Nobody watched it. Why? Because it's being suppressed. I think this. So we're what they call borderline content. Our show, it's called Border. So you know, YouTube has they're squeamish about news, right? And they're infiltrated. They're in lockstep. They work hand in glove with the intelligence communities, CIA, the FBI, NSA. They do that. They're defense contractors. Google. So they've been ratcheting down on shows like mine, and so now there's a lot of there's the corporate algorithm. There's the algorithm. The regular YouTube algorithm, and then there's the borderline content. That's my show. It's called Borderline. What have we ever gotten wrong? We got everything right. They hate that they're not angry at us for getting stuff wrong. They're angry at us for getting stuff right. The Syrian gas attacks, Russiagate, the Ukraine war, COVID, vaccines, ivermectin, Gaza. They're upset that we get things right. And so I'm going to put this video onto the end of this, and I'm watch it. And I'm going to change the tags and the headline and everything. We're going to see what happens. We'll see if more people watch this video than watch that video. We're going to see. Because this is a very important story, what happened. It's a very important story of what happened. So you remember how Elon Musk told you he was all about free speech and he was going to stand up? And he has in certain places, he stood up to Australia. He won that. We find out that he, like in Turkey, he's censored for them when they asked him. And he stood up recently, very briefly, he stood up to Brazil. Brazil wanted him to censor more, and he said no. So they shut down Twitter in Brazil. And then they started to screw with Starlink, which is his big money maker. Starlink is, by the way, amazing, actually. They've got like 5,000 satellites surrounding the planet right now. It's kind of amazing. But anyway, Michael Tracy says, after weeks crusading against censorship in Brazil and proclaiming that Twitter would be the world's heroic defender of free speech, Elon Musk has apparently capitulated to every demand made by the Brazilian Supreme Court that he had previously decried as intolerable censorship. New York Times posted it. Elon Musk suddenly appears to be giving up. Nobody's really talking about this on Twitter. I wonder if it's being suppressed or nobody's really talking about it. Elon Musk suddenly appears to be giving up. After defying court orders in Brazil for 3 weeks, Mr. Musk's social network X, Twitter, has capitulated. In a court filing on Friday night, the company's lawyers said that Twitter had complied with orders from Brazil's Supreme Court in the hopes that the court would lift its block on Twitter. So it's just kind of sad that he can launch into space, but he can't launch an uncensored social media site. What do you think X will be called when he leaves? X-Lax? Because it's turning into shit anyway. Here's the part that Michael had highlighted. Now, X's lawyers said the company had done exactly what Mr. Musk vowed not to do: take down accounts that a Brazilian justice ordered removed because the judge said they threatened Brazil's democracy. How do you save democracy? Censorship. X also complied with the justice's other demands, including paying fines. Where's he going to get the money for that? Where's Elon Musk going to get that kind of money? And naming a new formal representative in the country, the lawyer said. They wanted a new formal representative in Brazil. Why? So they could have someone to throw in jail. That's why they did that. All I'm going to say is all the people messing with Elon Musk, and if you're driving a Tesla, I'd think twice, because when you're in an electric car, you're really just sitting in a giant pager, if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. This is from New York Times. The abrupt about face from Elon Musk in Brazil appeared to be a defeat for the outspoken businessman. You think? And his self-designed image as a warrior for free speech. Mr. Musk and his company had loudly and harshly criticized Brazil's Supreme Court for months, even publicly releasing some of its sealed orders, but neither had publicly mentioned their reversal by Saturday. So I guess Elon Musk isn't talking about it. I should go to his Twitter feed and look. But I remember when he said, stuff like this. This was in August. He said the decision to close the Twitter office in Brazil was difficult. But if we had agreed to the Supreme Court's illegal secret censorship and private information handover demands, there was no way we could explain our actions without being ashamed. So apparently now he's ashamed. Or he's just not explaining his actions. Could you go to his Twitter feed and see if he's talked about this? Because they did it on Friday. So that has 73 million views, that tweet. Apparently, he's ashamed, or maybe he's not ashamed because he's only ashamed if he explains it. And I can't tell. I don't think he's explained his actions. Wow. Here's what he said before. This was what he said in July. The European Commission offered Twitter an illegal secret deal. If we quietly censored speech without telling anyone, they would not fine us. The other platforms accepted that deal. Twitter did not. Well, now they are accepting that deal in Brazil for at least. I'm sure they're caving everywhere. So they don't want you to have information, because when the establishment can't control the narrative, then they have to start disappearing people, which they'll do, but it's a lot harder. So we're living in a worldwide authoritarian. We're living one big Soviet Union. Everywhere now is China. Everywhere. So is somebody going to call Elon Musk a communist for doing this? Is someone going to call him a communist? Because that's what they call communists. I don't think people understand what communism really is. They think of Stalin communism, and that's not. But anyway, this is authoritarian fascism, and Elon Musk is going along with it. And it said, did you find any? He's not talking about it, right? They're not talking about it. Hey, Elon Musk's big secret? He's a fascist, authoritarian censorer. That's his big secret. I've seen statistics that said he's approved 80% of the censorship requests that he's gotten from governments. So Twitter is better than Facebook and Instagram and certainly TikTok. But is it free speech? No. It's the speech that Elon hasn't been threatened over yet. But if he gets threatened over it, apparently he'll let you have some free speech, but not all. So that's the dirty little secret. Come see us on tour. We'll be in Tempe, Arizona with a special celebrity guest on that show. Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.